It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is February 1st. Congratulations. We got through January. Woo! AC/DC with TNT, or as I like to call it, trinitrotoluene. Trinitrotoluene. That's actually what TNT stands for, I think. It's something like that. Trinitrotoluene. Trinitrotoluene. It's something like that. TNT fits the song a lot better.
Yeah.
You know? They could have said dynamite. I mean, that would have predated Good Times, wouldn't it? No, I think Good Times was already happening.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, would have been. Well, they could have, you know, it would have been a nice mashup, you know, JJ and Angus. That could have led to something. Norman Lear would have made something out of that. Could have, maybe, possibly. I saw AC/DC for the first time in 1988, and I went with a buddy named Len. Lenny was a co-worker at a pizza joint with me, and he was covered in tattoos at a time when not too many people were. And he was a skinhead. Now, the group of skinheads that were like peace, love, and hippie, but skinhead, not the white supremacist skinhead guys. There was two different skinhead factions back in the day in Atlanta, and he was the sweetheart skinhead guy. And he loved AC/DC, but when they played TNT, he was so excited because of the oi part, because skinheads love to go oi, oi, and so he was oi. Oi! And he was losing his mind, and he had just gotten a tattoo on his neck, right there on his neck it looked like a razor blade, like cutting into his neck and dripping blood.
Yikes.
And I said, Len, what the hell is that? He goes, that's just my personal guarantee that I will always work in the food service industry. Which funny. I thought was pretty funny. He's like, I'm just going to be slicing pizzas till the day I die. But as it was a new tattoo, he was putting like Noxzema or something on it constantly, whatever you would put on a new tattoo.
Yeah.
And so my shtick, which I thought was hilarious and no one else laughed, I kept going, instead of oi, I would go, ointment, ointment, as he was touching himself up. I always go, hey, Len, that's ointment, mate, ointment. And it was a time when people used to say, that word makes me, that's gross. I don't like ointment.
I hate
Ointment,
that word.
no.
People hate the word ointment.
My least favorite word.
Is it really?
Is it ointment? Really? I mean,
Ointment.
was there a bad memory there? Did Mom come in a little too hard and heavy with the ointment?
Well, yeah.
Diaper rash?
I like the visual.
Wow.
No, it just sounds slimy and guttural.
Really?
The older I get,
like
the more
ointment.
ointments I have.
Ointment.
Oh, boy. The older you're going to get, the more ointments you'll need is apparently what I hear, too. So it's good that you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
When I hear ointment, I think of things in like a mechanical sense. Like, I know WD-40 is not technically an ointment, but that's where my brain goes. I think about like the word lubrication to me. I think of oil, like motor oil commercials.
If you love it, lube it.
Yeah, that's kind of it. But so ointments never bother me. But there are a bunch of words that tend to freak people out. What the word? Okay. Squirt. Does the word squirt bug anybody?
I love
my
it.
favorite soda when I was a kid. Remember that bottle, the green bottle, and it was ribbed?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Ribbed is another word people can be like, oh, get out.
Like ribbed?
Yeah.
For your pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. Squirt's pretty good. I like any word that you can use, you can have several different uses of it in the same sentence or meanings. Like, hey, come here, squirt. Let me see if I can't squirt some of this on you. You know, I like, that's a good word to, hang on, that's almost like Ross Perot again.
I don't know. It was a little creepy. You want to squirt on a squirt.
Now we have to squirt this economy back into shape.
Make sure you use ointment if you're going to do that.
Let me squirt some of this ointment on you. Man, yeah, that's a good one. How about the one that always comes up people hate is moist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, moist. Well, that's
moist is
back
fine.
to the tattoo. You got to keep put the ointment on the tattoo to keep it moist. You don't want it to, get that hard scab on it.
I think most words that freak people out have it's either the immediate connotation, or for most of these, it's one of two things: bedroom or bathroom. Your brain goes right to either one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
The key to any successful commingling is a solid, moist foundation. And that could mean anything, but you immediately think, one thing. Okay, how about squelch?
Why? I don't get it.
Doesn't come up a lot.
Yeah, no, squelch doesn't, but it's not in that category of moist, secrete,
Oh, secrete. That's a bad
Now, it's no secret that I like to secrete things. Slowly and in a perfect world, kind of painfully. Secrete. Yeah, secretion. Ooh, I knew a girl in college. Her name was Lucretia, and so of course she was Secretia. Her name was Lucretia.
Lucretia McEvil.
Yeah. What? Huh?
Seriously? It's a song.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Lucretia McEvil.
I've never heard of it.
Lucretia McEvil.
Maybe I have heard it and didn't know what they were saying.
This will be in Lyrics and Lies today at 8 o'clock.
Wow. This woman's name was Lucretia Lawrence, and so, of course, we called her Secretia Larry. That's just how that's just how she was so happy. Of course, yeah. What are you kidding? No, we're not going to backtalk something. We're not going to talk behind someone's back.
Oh, that's my favorite thing to do.
So secrete and squelch right there on top. Yeah, you boys are going to have to squelch some of these desires you're experiencing now. And I knock them out and just right there at the tip, tie it off. One of my favorite words to use in a connotation people aren't expecting is flaccid. Because when you say flaccid or when you hear flaccid, there's one use that really you've ever used that you are. Everyone's thought immediately goes to, well, that's if I've ever seen one flaccid penis, that's it. I mean, that's right where you go. Yeah. I like to describe bands, or I'll be like, band's kind of flaccid. I don't like the new rhythm section. I just like to throw, or that performance. It's a little flaccid. Because anytime you use the word flaccid about anything other than someone's manhood, you get a response. People, wait, what?
Right. I mean, it takes you right. That's where our mind goes. It's like yeast. We're not talking about bacon bread, are we? Right?
Oh, you know what?
If you say yeast, everybody goes to the,
yeast is my ointment. Yeast is my ointment.
Really?
I didn't realize it until you just said it. Yeast. Yeah, the first time I ever understood a different use for that word other than baking bread, I must have seen an image in a biology book or something. But I literally it's like it makes me get a little tense. Yeast.
I'm gonna try and get a bunch of these words in just like a single sentence. I have a chunk of coagulated yeast stuck in my panty crevice.
Coagulated.
Like do not squelch my flaccid attempt at a moist squirt.
Oh my God! The first time I successfully coagulated was, of course, in the backseat of a Datsun 210. And let me tell you, nothing speaks to the power, to the willpower, and not to mention flexibility of a couple in their teens. Have you seen a Datsun 210 lately?
I know.
Not a lot of space.
I know. Every once in a while, I'll just look at the bucket seat over there and think to myself, not in the particular vehicle I'm in now. It's been many moons, but I think, really, I could have sex over there with another human being. I don't understand how that happened.
I learned how to drive on a Datsun B210. That's what they had in driver's ed school. You drive these around the track. They were all Datsun B210s.
Well, see, we had it wasn't a B210. It was just a 210.
Right.
And that's I don't know what the B meant, but those were way more prevalent. But we had a Datsun 210 that if you were going 52 miles per hour on the highway in fourth gear, it was a manual transmission, and you wanted to go up to 70, it would take 60 seconds to go from 50 to 70. I'm not kidding. That thing was it was the Fred Flintstone. You were using your feet to get up speed on that damn thing. It was unbelievable.
I wonder if it was a Datsun. My friend used to have those little I think it might have been one of his first cars. And when you'd get up to speed and roll down the window, it had like a wiffle ball effect. You'd feel the car start. I'm like, is this thing going to go in the ditch?
If you put down just one back window, the car would roll. I mean, that's your eardrums would explode and the car would roll. Yeah, no, that car. We used to talk about it. My brothers and I. We were like, we could probably tip it over. Like in our minds, it was so light. When you would pull the door shut, you would do it like you could put one fingertip on the outside of the door and just give it the slightest shove, and it would close full. It was just so. I guarantee you, my mom's Datsun 210 weighed like the whole car weighed about 136 pounds. It was just. I don't know how it was, and we drove that thing all over. Road trips to the beach, back to see family. There was no one thought twice about taking a 700-800 mile drive in that thing for years. It's incredible.
Yeah, right? I know.
And the whole time we used to say, I bet we could pick it up. I bet we could flip it over. I mean, our fascination with the car was how light it is and how, the word, I have a friend, I know a guy named John Dotson. And so, of course, I've called him John Nissan for years. It's just as he's in my phone as John Nissan.
John Nissan.
So there it goes. Those are the days. Yeah, I tell you what, man, coagulating in a Datsun 210, that was good stuff.
Yeah. Well, hey, gang, we have a big birthday today. I don't know if you know or not, but 137 years old today. Harvey Wilcox subdivided a patch of land that he owned in Southern California and started selling it off as real estate. His wife called it Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going west of the Hollywood Report here at 6:30. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. That was, of course, Dire Straits' Money for Nothing. Dire Straits was the biggest English band of the 80s in terms of tickets and albums sold. They were freaking huge. They outsold albums and tickets every other British band in the 1980s. I just never understood they were that big. But they were big in the States, but in the rest of the world, they were one of those bands. They'd go to Australia and just play stadiums. South America and play stadiums. Dire Straits, yeah. They were an arena band here, but elsewhere, oh man, I mean, bigger than big. And Mark Knopfler, the genius guitarist, the leader of the band, he just auctioned off 113 guitars at Christie's last couple of days. 113 guitars. He was donating all this money. Let's see, 25% of the proceeds, I should say, were divided equally to the British Red Cross and a group called Tuscan Bravehearts of the Northeast. Total $11.2 million brought in for 113 guitars and a few amplifiers. He has a 1959 Gibson Les Paul, which that's just a holy grail for guitarists, a 59 Les Paul. That sold for $880,000.
Oh my gosh!
One of my closest friends has one of those, just sitting in his house, and you'll walk in, there'll just be on a stand in his den, and I'm like, "You want to put that in a safe?" He's like, "Maybe later." Oh. He's like, the more if I get worried about it, if I start freaking out about it, that's when it'll break, or that's when someone will steal it.
Well,
just don't look at it.
Yeah, and then of course I've taken videos of myself holding it and playing it, and then I send that to other guitarists just to wind them up because I don't know how to play guitar, and it's obvious if you see me hold a guitar.
Beat on it with drumsticks.
Pretty
Love
much.
This new Tom here. This is great.
Yeah, he has there's a 2021 Gibson Les Paul, so not a guitar that's on its own worth too much. That went for over $500,000 because that guitar was signed by Mark Knopfler, Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, David Gilmour, Pete Townsend, Roger Daltrey, Slash, Ronnie Wood, Brian May, Tony Iommi, Sting, Ringo, Bruce Springsteen, The Edge, Buddy Guy, Joe Walsh, Vince Gill, Keith Urban, Peter Frampton, Mike Rutherford, Steve Cropper, Dwayne Eddy, and James Burton all signed one guitar. That's kind of astonishing. From James Burton all the way through to Slash. That's an incredible through line of guitars. So anyway, hey, nice job, Mark Knopfler. Nice job getting $11 million for stuff you're not going to be using anymore. Pretty incredible. All right, Zepp, you mentioned it's a big day today. It's the anniversary of the first ever parcels of land being cut out and sold, known as Hollywood. That's kind of exciting. So with that, let's go to the Mike Evans Hollywood Report.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Zepp, Candace? I could not believe it was over 50 degrees there yesterday.
What?
That's unbelievable, man. You got to be going out for playing golf. Oh, the golf courses are closed. If I know Steve, he probably snuck on to play a little golf. I hope everybody's doing well. This report brought to you by Marcus Theaters. If you're going to see a movie anytime, any day, there's only one place to see it, at a Marcus Theaters. They are simply the best. Check out Marcus Theaters on Tuesday for your $6 special. I got some TV news for you. Did you watch it? I told you about it on Tuesday. Well, it debuted last night. 4 stars for Feud on FX. Great new series. Naomi Watts, Diane Lane, Calissa Flockhart, Demi Moore. I really liked it. Oh, and speaking of great TV series, don't forget the Netflix docudrama now playing Griselda, starring Sofia Vergara. Sofia Vergara can actually act. How about that? Not all the news is good news as far as television. Check this out. By the end of the year, guys, every streaming service will have some commercials. And some of the streamers will actually have more commercials than regular television. The streamers will say they will provide better programming. That costs more money. But here's the scoop. Is it true a lot of those commercials, all the streamers, will end up paying for Major League Baseball, National Basketball Association, and even the National Football League? I'm telling you, they're all going to streaming service. You just wait and see. And a lot of Comic-Con conventions around the country, and at the North Carolina Comic-Con, that's coming up on February 16th through the 18th, there will be one celebrity there signing autographs and talking to the kids for the 3-day event. Kevin Fowler is his name. It's a little surprising to me since Kevin Fowler has been accused of sex crimes for years, but was invited and even paid hanging out with kids at the Comic-Con. Oh, by the way, professionally, Kevin Fowler only uses his first and his middle name professionally. His full name is Kevin Spacey Fowler. Enjoy the good weather while you can, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
God, a Paul Harvey moment there.
And now you know the rest of the story. It was pretty exciting. I didn't know where that one was going.
Yeah.
I tell you what, sometimes he just he drops a story like that and he leads us down that road, and I'm salivating. It's like I have there's a moistness that I feel, and then sometimes my lips get chapped and I need some ointment.
Yeah.
Tony, have you got any ointment?
I will swap you my ointment if you give me a container of yeast.
The cringy words. I think we should really, like you did, Zepp. We should just do our best to use all these words as often as we can today. We didn't even get to 2 more words on the list that makes people cringe. Panties.
It makes me squirm.
That's
Panties?
why I always say underpants.
Underpants.
Granny panties.
Panties and defecate, 2 words that people really don't care for.
Yeah. Feces. Not a good
Ew.
Or defecating
Bowel.
in your panties.
Man, I was so excited the first time I saw some panties, I couldn't help but defecate. I mean, these kind of things, that sometimes these words go together.
Yeah, panties is titillating. Why is that? Is that just women don't like it?
I don't mind
guess.
it. I just like underpants better.
Yeah,
Okay.
panties is definitely a word that I thought that was almost like a naughty word as a kid. You would just, someone would say bra and panties, and I'd just be like, oh my God. You mean they're talking about girls? Bra and panties.
That was going through the JCPenney catalog,
Oh, heck yeah.
When you quit looking at the toys section and started looking at the women's underwear section, that was a moment in life. You've turned a corner.
It certainly was. And don't think the adults weren't aware as much as we thought we were hiding these things. It's funny. It's funny when you get your own kids and then you're like, oh, I was that overt as well. I thought I was really pulling the wool over something. I thought I was coagulating the wool over some eyes so nobody could. Oh, you know what? Another word on that list was chunk. Does the word chunk bother anybody?
No, not at all.
I love chunk.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, to me, it immediately, as I say as often as I possibly can, it makes me think of the greatest candy bar of all time, the Chunky Bar.
The good old Chunky.
Shout out to Electric Fetus for always having a solid stash
I
on hand.
don't like the word cluster.
Really?
Yeah, because people always refer to our company, like as a cluster.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it really just freaks. I don't know. It just really bothers me.
It's kind of weird.
I think of I go straight to the Goo Goo Cluster, the candy bar from Nashville, Tennessee. Goo Goo Cluster. You ever heard of it? Oh, it's a thing.
Freaks me out.
And Goo Goo, G-O-O, Grand Ole Opry is what that means. That's how it was named.
Or when the yeast clusters in your panty crevice.
Yeah, that's the yeast cluster bomb, they call that.
Oh my God.
Mucus is another one.
Mucus is mucus. Man, I tell you what, you figure out a way to get mucus and panties in the same sentence, and I'll give you a blue ribbon. Let's look back. Oh, I'll tell you what it is. On this day in 2004, 'tis the season for Super Bowl highlights. The Patriots beat the Panthers in one of the most exciting Super Bowls ever. Not the most exciting Super Bowl ever, but certainly the most exciting fourth quarter ever. I believe, what was it? 37 points were scored in the final, in the fourth quarter of that game, or 27 points, excuse me. Final score 32-29. It was just a ball buster of a fourth quarter. Not that I saw any of it because I fell dead asleep in the second quarter. I was actually in England and I was watching it, and then I woke up and it was the next day, and I was like, I wonder what happened. Oh, I see the score. The Patriots won again. But really what I missed was Nipplegate. That was the game on this day. 20 years ago today, Justin Timberlake assaulted Janet Jackson on television and somehow got away with it.
She had nothing to do with it.
Boy, people were freaking out about that.
I mean, we had to be told we were freaking out about it, though. I remember the next morning we were on the air.
Yeah.
And it was fun, and then it was like, oh no, this isn't supposed to be fun. I'm like, oh, it's not? I thought he'd be getting high fives for it, not banned for.
The silly thing is that Janet took all the heat. Justin walked away scot-free. It's typical. They called it, if you remember, a wardrobe malfunction.
That's right.
The coin flip before the game, legendary quarterback Y.A. Tittle was on hand for the coin flip, so we should have all seen it coming. Just saying.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Thursday. It is February the 1st. Whoo, baby. 1 hour from right now at 8 o'clock, we are going to be giving away tickets for Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie. Those two gentlemen will be at the XL Energy Center Sunday, August 25th. And again, 1 hour from now, we're going to play a game called Lyrics or Lies. We're going to give away tickets. We're cool. That's how we roll around here. And we're cool we're cool for as old as we are. Because let's not kid ourselves, guys. We're in 2024. We're already into the second month of the year. It's just a matter of time before the canes and the walkers and the bunions are just all we're talking about.
Well, a cane, I'm kind of looking forward to the cane. Aren't canes cool? Don't you walk into those antique stores every once in a while, and then they'll have that thing sitting there with the canes and the umbrellas in it?
Walking sticks.
Walking stick, and you're looking... And you're looking in there thinking, I could use a cane with like a silver skull on it or something. Cool.
Oh no! There's some cool canes to be sure. It's funny you say that, and I immediately think of there's a play, there's a piece of American theater it's all a bunch of monologues from characters who are all dead. They're all in the cemetery. It's a famous piece, and it's completely spacing on what it's called. I'll come up with it in a minute. Someone out there who goes, I had to do that in 8th grade too. And so I was this kid in school. But I had to give a monologue, and my character, it was set in like the 1800s. I'm getting way off in the weeds, but here's the whole thing. There was a line. So my character got arrested because he busted a sheriff with a loaded cane. He had a cane that was weighted. It was like loaded in the middle, like to be heavier than normal, so it could be used as a weapon.
Yeah.
And so one of the lines was, and then I busted that sheriff with that loaded cane. And when I read it, I had no idea what that meant. I didn't understand the reference. I was confused. And the way it was written on the page, and of course I was too smart not to know, so I didn't ask the teacher. I could have just simply said, I'm confused. What does this mean? She would have explained it. And I remember getting up in front of the class and go in front of the school, and I did it. And then I hit the sheriff. With that loaded cane, I then went on to the way I sit. And afterwards, like the teacher came up, she goes, hey. And she explained it to me after the fact. And I kid you not, that's like 1978. And that is still clearly haunts me to this day.
Still bothers you.
With that loaded cane, I went to, and I thought it was saying like, well, with that, I moved on. I thought loaded cane was an old expression.
It's open to interpret. I bet you weren't the only one there, including the adults out there in the audience that didn't know exactly what was going on. And if it weren't for that, boys and girls, Steve Gorman would probably be a star of stage and screen.
I'm telling you, man, that's what it was. It was just a real drag. And it's gonna, and I will before the end of the day. I'm not gonna Google it. I'm gonna bring that play that piece of. Okay, I got to move on. Screw it. I'm too. See, this is. I was about to give us all a quiz on how middle aged are we, and the fact that story I just told, one of the worst ever. That tells you I need some Ginkgo Balboa stat. I'm losing it.
It sounds like, when you bring something up at the family get-together and Grandpa goes, yeah, you know what? That reminds me of the loaded cane story. And everybody goes,
man.
Okay,
yeah, exactly.
All
right. Between that and the 5th grade spelling bee, adding an H to the word ancient, it's amazing I can ever get to sleep around here. Okay, so how middle-aged are we? I got a quiz, and we're going to all answer. I'm going to keep score. Ready? We're going to give a point for every positive answer. And we're going to start with Candace, the youngest middle-aged person I've ever known in my life.
Yes.
Number 1, you can't sleep past 9 a.m. Be honest,
yes.
Candace. Wait, that's true?
Usually, unless I don't know.
Generally
unless
speaking.
I'm up really late.
An
Because
all-nighter?
yeah.
Oh, if you're still pulling all-nighters, you're not middle-aged,
Okay.
by the way.
I guess
But
I can't say that, but I usually wake up around 8 automatically on the weekends.
Oh, well, then I'm going to give you a point. Zep, can you sleep past 9? We all know the answer is no.
No, I can't do that. I've never been very good at sleeping past 9, even when I went to bed at 5 a.m. you know?
Right. Tony, come on.
No, I don't.
Not
Not
a
a long
chance.
sleeper. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. See, we're okay. How
Early
about this?
morning guy.
You can't start a movie past 9 p.m. Now,
You mean 7?
well, we can start a movie, but this is basically saying you won't finish it. So you
Yeah.
can't start a movie past 9. For me, 100% accurate. Candace?
Give me a point.
Yeah, I'll fall asleep for sure.
Tony.
No, I can on weekends. I stay up way too late and I mess up my schedule every week.
Attaboy.
Yes, sir.
I knew one of us.
Keep us
Yeah.
young,
Good fight.
Tony.
Yeah.
No, Forever Young Lee, they call him. How about this? You call your children for tech support. Candace, you can use your little brother on this one if you need. Yes.
Nope, I'm savvy.
You're savvy. Tony?
No,
Tech
August and Hudson come to the rescue all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
They
Zep?
need help.
No, you know what? The galleys, not too much. No, they'll get me on stuff like, Dad, that's not how you use Snapchat. But for the techie stuff, I still get calls from them on how to set up their phone.
Nice.
They
Strong.
get a new phone, so I'm not taking a point on that one.
Okay, how about this? You have, at one point in your life, fixed a typo with whiteout or liquid paper.
Yes.
You have, Candace?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like computers didn't come around until 2nd grade, 3rd grade.
Wait, so you were using liquid
You
paper in
fraud.
1st grade?
Maybe they were later. Now I don't remember. When
She
did
was a
computers come
toughie.
out?
All right.
She's a
wait.
toughie. When did computers come out? I bought my first desktop computer in 1996.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was 6.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm giving you the point anyway. By the way, the 3 of you are all sitting on 3. I'm already at 4. I've hit every one of these.
All right.
You have called a 30-year-old kid. Oh, look at that kid over there. This kid's good.
This week.
100%.
There's no difference between 20s and teens for me anymore. I don't know. Either you're in your 20s or your teens, which really seems to. I'm 25. I'm like, I don't know. You could be 15. I don't know.
That's true. Tony, can you imagine yourself if you're referencing somebody? Oh, look at that kid over there. I mean, a 30-year-old.
I use that term of endearment all
Yeah.
the time. Anyway,
There you go.
I call everybody kid.
Okay, well then I'm going to give it. How about
Yeah.
this? You swap ailment stories with your friends.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought we have already
course.
this morning.
Yeah, that's the basis of this show, is it not? I'm giving everybody a point on that one. You're on Facebook, but not Grindr.
Oh, the coffee app. Yeah. I
What?
like that one. Yeah, it's where you get your coffee beans, Grinder,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
You know?
Gross guy.
I know what Grinder is. You guys hit me to it because that morning I went Grinder. It's not even for ladies, and there's no E in it. It's not grind her. It's Grindr. I am on Facebook, but I am not on Grinder yet.
I'm with you there, Tony. I'm going to assume you're also a Nix.
Yeah.
Candace?
Yeah, nope.
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 Yeah. Nope. How about this? You write appointments on a paper calendar.
I've never done that.
By the way, less than 12 hours ago.
Really?
We have a giant calendar. You fill in the numbers each day.
sure.
Rosemary and I just with a big calendar in front of us, writing all of it in for the next couple months because there's back and forth. There's the kids are doing this. I got a gig here, and a paper calendar still is the thing. I can put it on my phone. I can put it on my laptop. It means nothing. If it's on a paper calendar, it's real, and I can make plans. So I am 100% old as hell.
Not taking a point on that one. Yeah, I've not been.
No.
I got on board with the digital calendar, but the old paper calendars, if I
love
did
it.
write on them, then I forgot to refer to them. So
you get a paper calendar. It's like every month looks the same, and then you have to find out where the first is. You write in all the numbers, and so like March 1st is a Friday, and so you're like 1, 2, and then you go through. I've been filling one of those out and started on the wrong day, and it's like literally like no, I get so angry and have to waste a page of the calendar. And Rosemary's like, just cross that one out. I'm like, no, it has to look perfect.
So easy to edit on my phone.
I know. But there's so much crap on it's like voicemail. I never even listen. If you leave me a message, I'm sorry.
I have to get my mom a Maltese calendar every year for Christmas since like I was a kid.
Does she really want that, or you just got used to doing that?
It's like
she
another
demanded.
Maltese
No, she demanded it because she likes to see all the different kinds of Maltese.
Okay. That's exciting, and it's great for both of you. You don't have to think about it. She knows what she's getting. It's one less wrinkle in the day. How about this one? You're not quite sure how you got that bruise.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. That's it. Man. My wife will probably not be happy I'm sharing this story. But last week, the week before last, I was here. She was in Nashville. And Nashville got a big snowstorm, 8 inches, which in Nashville that's like getting 40 inches up here. I mean, it shut the city down. And she walked out the back door of the house and went down the back steps and went right over, slipped on the ice and went down hard. And she texted me, and what she wrote was, if you want to see me fall, pull up the Ring camera. And so, of course, I did. And I really wish I hadn't, because it was horrifying to watch my wife fall like that. And she's fine, but on her arm, on the inside of her elbow, just a crazy bruise. And she actually said, she goes, well, this bruise is fine because at least I know where it came from. Yeah, that's the funny thing. You get to a place in life when you're like, I have scratches on my face a lot. And what we finally determined, check this out. I bit my nails my whole life. I stopped biting my nails during COVID. All the hand washing. Yeah. Remember early days of the pandemic, it was like everywhere you looked, it was like 20 full seconds of scrubbing and do not touch your face. It was like, get your hands away from your face. And for the first time in my life, I did that, and I no longer bite my nails, which is like, I'm new to the whole concept of having fingernails you can use. It's great. But like if I have an itch, I go to scratch. I still scratch as if I don't have a nail, and I have like marks on my face. Kind of at least once a month, she'll go, "Hey, you have a scratch on your face." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I did that," and I've done it in my sleep. And I've done it in my sleep. I've like I wake up and I have like a line right down my face, and I'm like
self-maul.
Yeah, crazy self-harm with fingernails. Who knew?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the next one. For the record, I am sitting at 9 for 9. Candace, you're at 6, and the other guys are at 7 each. So we're all in the ball game. Here's one. Okay, you gain weight just by being near food. Funny, but is it really true? I don't think so. I don't know. I'm gonna pass on that one.
I gain weight from eating the food I'm near all the time, but that's always been a thing. But it's there was a time when I used to brag. I'd be like, I could eat 25 Big Macs a day. I wouldn't gain a pound. I'm lean and I'm mean and I'm not too far, but that kind of thing. But now, I can eat salads, 7 days a week, and it's got the spare tire. I'm rocking it, baby.
Oh yeah. Don't get me started. Just a boiler I'm working on at all times.
But I don't care anymore.
Yeah, when there's a time in your life when you look in the mirror and go, I'm finally the shape of a keg. Okay. Yeah. I guess that was self-determination in process.
I'm cool with that.
How about this one? You go into the bank to make a deposit.
No.
Nope.
I still go to the drive-thru occasionally. I mean, mostly if I have an actual paper check, which is not very often, but I just do it on the phone. But I will still go through the drive-thru. But go into a bank, I have when I didn't have a deposit slip, and I had to go in there and I had the account number, I had to fill out the actual the you have to fill in the account information on the blank deposit slip, but it's still been a few years. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Screw it.
Yeah, the last time I went into a bank was to get a roll of quarters because we were on vacation, and I will often, if it's longer than a few days, I just don't pack a lot. So at some point, I want to do a little laundry there in the hotel, and it was pay. I'm like, what kind of cheap-ass hotel? So I go down to the desk. Can I get some change? We don't have a change. You don't have change? You have a change machine? No. She said, but there's a bank over there. So, I had to go over to the bank and get a roll of quarters.
Yeah, there's just no need.
A couple of years ago, no.
You have used, and not like for shtick, but you literally had at one time in your life a rotary phone. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
Everybody had that. Candace, you did?
Yeah.
Still rotary phone
Yeah,
for you?
rotary?
Does that mean
You sure?
the house phone?
A house phone but it's
More
not
than that.
buttons to punch.
Google it.
You don't punch the buttons. You literally roll this rotary thing that goes.
No, I'm out.
Yeah. I was not thinking you were going to be on that one.
They're so cute, though. I want one. Oh my God, there's a pink one.
Yeah, rotary phone.
Yeah.
And then finally, you can't find your glasses, the ones that are sitting on top of your head. I've done that.
I hang them on my T-shirt all the
readers.
time, and we'll be looking for them and get the look down. Oh, crap. That's embarrassing.
All right, Tony, ever been looking for the glasses that are on your head?
Yeah, the same thing. I like hook them on my shirt
Yeah.
in front.
Yep.
And forget.
Okay. I remember, Candace, you're out on that
I'm
one.
out.
I remember very clearly my buddy Dan Baird, who was the singer in the Georgia Satellites. Keep your hands to yourself, guy. Gap Tooth Yokel, Dan Baird, one of my favorite people. He would not be upset knowing I called him that. I didn't know him back in the days of the Satellites. I actually met him years ago at a dog park. We had the same kind of dog. I was like, hey, you're Dan, you're Steve. Hey, what's up? And we started becoming buddies. And then we've played a bunch of gigs together since. But I remember he said to me once, he said, yeah, that, there's those moments in life you look back on. And he goes, I knew the game was over when I went to Costco and I bought an entire case of reading glasses. He goes, I bought a dozen at once just because I have one in every room of the house.
Put them all over the
And I was like, yeah, that I see it. And I remember thinking like, all right, that's going to be the line in the sand for me. And it was just one of those things we laughed about. And years later, this is now like only 3 years or 4 years ago, I was at Costco and I saw that thing and it's like 12 pairs of readers. And I was like, don't do it. No, you're admitting you're old as hell. I just couldn't do it. And it makes perfect sense because I have to look for my readers all the time. And I couldn't commit to getting a dozen at a time.
You don't want to buy them in bulk.
I totally went. Amazon, you get 20 for like $1.
Yeah,
not
it's
quite,
ridiculous.
But and then I just scatter them everywhere. And
All right, well, I hit 11 on that poll, so I led the charge. Tony and Zepp with 9. Candace, just a child at 6. Congratulations.
Thank God. I was worried about myself.
I'm thinking, thank God, middle-aged.
Yeah.
I'm striving for middle age. I mean, this means I'm going to live to 116, I guess.
I've thought that too. I'm like, wow, if I'm middle-aged, I think I'm more like 2/3 aged. Realistically, I hope I'm 2/3 aged. Jeez, I might be 3/4 aged. That'd be terrible.
My daughters bring that up all the time. I'll go, hey, listen, I'm middle-aged. Dad, whoa, do the math. I'm like, nah,
yeah, right.
Come here.
Damn it.
If I could just catch him, but with this back and my bad knee. All right. Hey, listen, we've been having fun with words this morning. We got started with that. I'm looking at a list of license plates that didn't make the cut. You know, the old vanity plate thing. I have one time in my life thought I might get a vanity plate, but it's like trying to choose a new password. By the way, it's change your password day as well. But I just sit there, caught in the headlights. I just can't come up with anything cool. But some people came up with some cool ones that didn't make the cut. We'll get into that here at 7:30. Game show at 8 o'clock for Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper tickets. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. I've never had a vanity plate. I've never understood the vanity plate. I will never, ever have one for really one overwhelming, overarching, predominant reason. And that's because if I cut someone off or if I drive like an idiot, I don't want anybody around me to absolutely then know it is me the next time they see me.
Right.
Yeah.
When you get into a normal life, as we all do, you get a job. You're driving the same thing every day. You're driving home the same way every day. I notice, like when I would take the kids to school, you see a lot of the same cars, which makes sense. The same people are getting out at the same time every day. And I would recognize cars without the vanity plate. I would actually just recognize the regular license plate. Not consciously, but you would be like, oh, I know I've seen that car before. Or a bumper sticker certainly does that. There's a car in this neighborhood right near KQ. I've seen it several times, and it's a bumper sticker that says it just basically it's a slur, but it says only I can't even remember. It's something about the only kind of cop that would ever pull me over for speeding must be a it's something only a fag would pull me over. It's something weird like that.
Wow.
But I've seen it a few times, and I'm like, wow, that's quite a commitment. Because now I see that car. It's always like the same guy. It could just be someone who's got a weird sense of humor, but I just assume you're a douchebag driving that car. I didn't want people to assume I was a douchebag because if I cut you off in traffic, the next time you see that kind of car, I don't want you to know it's me.
Right.
Whereas the vanity plate, forget it. If you have a vanity plate, you're just marked. You're going to hear about it.
How many people are you pissing off out there?
I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's just not my thing, But I did see one. First of all, there was a Zepp man, Zeppman, that was cruising around, right? I would see it all the time.
Your biggest fan.
He's the only cool guy with a vanity plate.
Yeah, right. And it has nothing to do with me. But I did see one once. It was blood. Blood. The whole word just blood. And I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that one. I'm hoping it's like a doctor and wasn't some psycho. But, I just never got into it. And then just trying to come up with something clever by the time you come up with it and say it in your head a couple of times, it suddenly doesn't sound so clever.
I think it would be awkward, too. I imagine being at the DMV and filling out the form, like, I'd like to get a vanity plate, please. And I immediately assume the person behind the counter is like, oh, this will be good. Like, you're just... And I know the person doing it couldn't possibly care less, but in my mind, they would just be like, let's see what this douchebag comes up with.
I would like ointment 1.
Ointment, yes. We got to get one of those words on there. Crevice or moist or secretion. I forget what some of the other ones were.
Jeez.
By the way, I just way too late for this, but just on the fly, I know we've got a caller. Just sent Minnesota's rejected license plates for 2023. Just sent that over.
Oh, really? Okay, well then we got plenty to get into. Candace, we have a caller right now.
Mary from Excelsior.
Mary, good morning.
Good morning.
What have you got for us?
So my brother, while water skiing, had his thumb pulled off.
What?
So he had one that said one thumb. He deserved doing that one. That was pretty cool. He was a big old tough carpenter.
Okay.
He gets a high 4 for that one.
Okay, hold on. Your brother was water skiing and he lost a thumb?
Yes.
Ouch.
Good
Got
Lord.
yanked.
It got pulled off.
Yeah, the rope got wrapped around it, right?
Yeah.
Tow rope? Yeah.
And so did he then have a prosthetic, like an attachable and detachable thumb?
Nah, he was a big carpenter. He didn't give a shit. He just... Oh, sorry.
That's quite all right.
All right.
No need to apologize for being fantastic. That is, wow, that's amazing. Because I would think as a carpenter, he would want that something to use as in the place of a thumb. But I guess, man, that's a tough guy. So one thumb. So it was the number 1 followed by the word thumb, I guess?
Yes, it's pretty cool.
That is very cool. Thank you for the call. That's one tough.
Take care, guys.
That one thumb is one tough sumbitch, is what he is.
Ouch! Just yanked off out of waters. Yeah, keep that slack. No slack in the rope. That might be the driver of the boat's fault right there. Scott Lane, my buddy, just texted me. This is a great one. In Minneapolis, saw a vanity plate on a Lamborghini. It said, "Janitor." On a Lamborghini. Yeah, I like it.
I like it. This reminds me. The Louisville Cardinals basketball team in 1980 were the NCAA champs. Darryl Griffith, the Doctors of Dunk.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember that.
Sure.
Power forward Wiley Brown on that national championship team did not have a thumb on one hand. He had a thumb that he would attach for games. Yeah, a guy without a thumb on his hand playing basketball, Wiley Brown.
Snap it on?
I haven't thought about Wiley Brown in 40 years.
Wow.
Why do I remember that? What is wrong with me? Candace, do we have another caller?
Yes.
What do we got here?
Aaron from Edina.
Aaron, what's up?
Hey, man, I just wanted to say, I'm pretty sure Zeppman is actually a rep for the chemical company.
Oh, well, it's got 2 P's, though. Zeppman, right, Candace? Didn't it have the 2 P's?
I don't know.
And
I don't know now.
Bummer.
Yeah, I think maybe it is a rep for Zeppman. I know people will bring, in relation to the chemical company? I wish.
Oh, there's only 1 T because I posted in 2018 on my way to see Robert Plant. I was driving behind him.
I stand corrected, as usual.
Spaceman.
Well, there could be.
Well, that takes a lot of the fun out of it.
Wow.
He's just pimping chemicals.
Yeah, I'm a wet blanket.
No. That's I'm glad to be corrected out there. He's out there going, I hate Led Zeppelin. Why are they saying this on the radio? Of course, he wouldn't be listening to KQ, but.
Well, Candace, you were on your way to see Robert. Sorry, I'm cutting you off, Aaron. Candace, you were driving to Robert Plant when you saw the Zeppman license plate?
Yeah, I'm gonna I'll repost it in the KQ Facebook, but it was magical. I think he does love. I posted though, and I think he did reach out to us, and I think he does love Led Zeppelin too. So
and chemicals.
I would hope. Yeah. There was a mom at our kid's school who drove a big SUV, and she had a license plate. I was behind it in school one day, and I laughed, and I was like, that must just be random, and it was EM50.
EM50.
The Stripes Urban Assault Vehicle.
Oh. Yeah. It did ring a bell.
I saw it. I immediately knew. And so I imagine seeing a dude my age who was 15 when Stripes came out, and it was a woman, and I was like, huh. And then the next time I saw her, I went up, I said, hey, do you have the EM50 car? She goes, yeah. And I go, that's your license plate? And she goes, yeah, why? I go, well, I just saw the plate, and urban assault vehicle. And she goes, you're the first person that's ever known what that was.
That's cool.
And I go, she goes, it's my favorite movie of all time. And I was like, wow. And she's like an attorney, dressed like in a business suit. I was like, I did not see that coming at all.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Just a big Stripes fan.
There's a person I knew in the industry who her license plate said on air. Really?
There, yeah.
You said something about the guy in the Ferrari or who had the janitor plate or Lamborghini. I remember seeing an article about Michael Jordan in like Sports Illustrated, and he had a Ferrari, and the license plate was MJ, and I was like, really? You need that? You just like anyone in Chicago doesn't recognize that. First they see the car, and then they're like, no one sees a Ferrari in 1991 in Chicago and goes, that guy looks like Jordan. Do you think it's him?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Everybody knows who you are, dude.
Yeah,
Abe Roman, the Sausage King.
That's exactly right.
Here's one that I love that was not allowed, not surprisingly, in Minnesota in the last year. FKN DER. FKN deer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. F and deer.
Oh, I like it.
Car. Yeah, that person's hit one or two, I think, probably.
I imagine so. There's a few that were. There's a whole list of these that didn't make it through. Boink. B-O. Here's the words. Back to words we don't like. Boink. This is one from British Columbia. Hogasm. Hogasm. Someone wanted that on their plate. See, that's the guy. I want to be the DMV employee who's like, you got your form, fill it out, sir. Let me take a look at that. That's just to clarify, that's Hogasm.
Maybe it was a pig farmer.
Could have been
Hogasm.
Hogasm. Could have.
Hogasm. Yeah.
As hoggy as I want to be. You have a text, Tony?
Yeah, it says if one gets a vanity plate, it has to be something funny. Don't be douchey like the one I've seen before. Too hot for you. Pulled up beside them at a light, and they were nothing special.
I kind of want to just go get a rental car and ram into them and pay the deductible and be done with it.
Yeah.
Minnesota state officials were also not persuaded by another driver's argument that G-Spot was a road-appropriate reference to an auto shop specializing in customizing GMC trucks. Wow. Reach in there. G-Spot. No.
How about this one was rejected? YSOFCR. Like, yes, officer.
Well, that's funny.
What's wrong with that one?
I don't know. Any reference to anything, please. Maybe they
651-989-ROCK is the talk and text line. If you want to share a thought with us, feel free to call and or text. By the way, I almost forgot. The follow-up to the Michael Jordan vanity plate story was a couple years later. There was an article on Scottie Pippen, and these you can look these up. I'm not making this up. He also had a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and Scottie Pippen's license plate was DA space PIP. DePip. I was like, oh my God, we know it's you. Two of the most. There's no mistaking either of those gentlemen. Like they both have such a unique look, and they're iconic, especially Jordan, but even Pippen in his own way. And it's always like, no, God, dude. We know that's you. Anyway, Candace, we have another call, yes or no?
Yes, we have DK from Bethel.
DK, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Great. What do you got for us?
Perfect. Well, I had two of them. The first one is absolutely hilarious. Right after the Two Live Crew album came out, they had a song called LGBNAF, if any of you guys know that, and it's Let's Get Buck Naked and F.
Right.
So I shortly after saw that license plate, I swear to you, on 494, I was DJing at Alligators nightclub. I pulled out. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. They blew that one by somebody.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, then the other one, I was doing security and stuff too, and I've always considered myself an okay-looking guy. This may sound like I'm cocky that way, but not. But I was getting ready to go to work one night, cummerbund, tuxedo tie, and everything, and I told my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, I said, I look way hot. So she got me those plates for my Corvette back then. Well, shortly after, I was driving down 694 and thinking, my plates are pretty cool, but people probably think I'm kind of arrogant, blah, blah, blah. Here's this gorgeous Corvette coming up in my rearview mirror, and this young lady passes me, and her plates were BLUIS, blue eyes.
Sorry, I was going somewhere else there for a second.
And I went, she's beautiful. Me and my plates, we just suck. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, you worked at DK. Were you DJing at Alligators back in the late 90s?
Absolutely. I was their house DJ for about 15 years down there. I'm over on another country radio station in the cities now, just doing evenings.
Gotcha. Well, you and I may have been in the same club at the same time. I might have been there. I used to do some gigs at Alligators, but that brings back. Is it still there, Alligators?
No, they had new ownership, and they ran it, I want to say, 5-6 years, and then it eventually turned into a daycare.
Oh, well, it kind of was at the time, too. All right, DK, thanks, man. That's,
appreciate that, DK. One more quick one, Candace. Who we got? Let's see.
Steve.
How do you spell that?
Steve from Inver Grove Heights.
Hey, Steve. How are you, brother?
Good. Yeah, my buddy had one. He had cancer, and he lost a nut. So he got a custom plate that said number one, nut left. And everybody laughed. Everybody who knew him loved it.
Oh, man.
So, that's great.
That's
Sorry about my voice. I'm recovering from COVID, but anyway.
Oh, man, still
better.
out there. All right.
No,
Yeah, feel
right
better.
on.
I am.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. We appreciate it. If we ever see one nut left, we'll think of you, brother. I mean, it's your friend.
Right,
we know it's not
you.
you. It's your buddy, but I'm just saying. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the COVID voice, I had that for a while, too. Man.
Oh, yeah,
it sucks.
for sure.
All right, it lingers. All right, we got to get along here. We might have to come back to this, but right now we got to clear the KQ92 talk and text line for our two callers, 9 and 2, 651-989-ROCK. About time to play Lyrics or Lies. For a chance to win tickets to 92 KQRS presents Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper, Sunday, August 25th at the Excel. Prize provided by Live Nation, and those tickets going on sale Friday, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Our runner-up today, Australian Bee Gees with the 70s Magic Sunshine Band, Saturday, February 3rd at the Medina. Thank you to the Medina Entertainment Center. 651-989-ROCK. Dial up. Good luck and hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Thursday, February the 1st. So far on the show, we have been discussing, vanity plates, good and bad, and words that make us cringe. If you want to get to Tony Lee, just say the word ointment.
Don't do it.
And watch his central nervous system light up.
I'd rather you didn't.
Oh, that sounds like a movie from the 70s, The Ointments of Tony Lee.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, I was up really late last night applying my ointment.
Stop it.
Can we start calling you Toiny?
That would be nice.
Oh, we've all got a word or two. I'm a big fan of flaccid. I just like applying it in places you don't expect, which is oddly where I apply a lot of ointments.
You jerk. I was going to say it first.
I do a lot of ointments in places you don't expect. We're just having fun with words. Oh, what would life be without laughter? You know what? What would life be? What would life be without concerts, ladies and gentlemen? I ask you. It would suck. Thankfully, we have tons of them that come through the Twin Cities every single year. Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper will be here August the 25th at the XL Energy Center. That's going to be a show worth attending, I can promise you. And we've got tickets to give away. Also on hand, we got a couple of tickets as a runner-up prize today to see the Australian Bee Gees with the 70s Magic Sunshine Band. The Australian Bee Gees, they're from Australia.
I was just going to say, aren't the Bee Gees the Australian Bee Gees?
Yeah, I was going to say, couldn't we just refer to them as that? But with the word Australian, then it's not actually the Bee Gees. It's a great tribute act. We've got runner-up tickets for that show. That's this Saturday, February 3rd, day after Tamari. So let's get to it. We've got a couple callers ready to play a game. Tony, that game is,
and y'all should know, if you want to see little Stevie's eyes light up with glee, just say the word yeast.
No, don't say the word yeast.
All right, rockers, words and music. Let's play this. Lyrics or lies, we're going to read a set of words. You tell us, are they actually lyrics from an Alice Cooper song, or are they not?
Wow. I'm just going to go ahead and just to bury a theme once and for all. I could see Alice Cooper covering the Beatles and calling it Yesterday and then turning it into a really disgusting, macabre version of a beautiful song. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm done with my yeast talk for the day. Candace, we've got 2 callers ready to play lyrics or lies. Who is contestant number 1?
Maddie from Hastings.
Maddie, good morning.
Hola.
How's things going?
Hola.
Everybody good over there? Are you ready to play lyrics or lies?
I don't know. I was kind of hoping it was going to be Melvin John, but all right.
Okay.
We'll try it.
Okay. That's okay. I was hoping I would make the NBA back in the day too. So we all do the best we can with what we got. I wish you the best of luck. Tony's gonna take it over from here.
I think you can handle it, Maddie. Your first one here. You're so very ordinary, you're so very lame, tastes like whiskey on your lips, and earthworms rule your brain.
I would say that's true lyrics, yeah.
It is true. That's an Alice Cooper song called Blue Turk.
Little jerk.
Man, he's got a way about him.
Next one, the telephone is ringing. You got me on the run. I'm driving in my car now, anticipating fun.
I kind of lost you on the last one. Can you repeat that, please?
The telephone is ringing. You got me on the run. I'm driving in my car now, anticipating fun.
Yeah.
From Under My Wheels.
Telephone is ringing. Hell yeah. 2 for 2, Maddie. You're rolling.
Let's go, Maddie. Here's your third one. When the chicks dig us in our jet black ties, they're going to flip, going to flop, going to drop like flies.
I don't think so. I'm going to go no.
That's from West Side Story, When You're a Jet. You're a jet all the way.
From your first cigarette to your last dying day or something? Yeah, wow.
That's correct.
Hang on. Get your switchblades ready.
Maddie, conjunction junction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses.
Like and but nor. I would say no, that's not Alice Cooper.
It is from Schoolhouse Rock.
It sure is.
You are correct.
That's awesome.
And your last one. She wanted an Einstein, but she got a Frankenstein.
I'll say yes.
Nice job from Public Animal number 9. Very Coopery.
Maddie very calmly goes 5 for 5.
Wow.
Man. See, sometimes you don't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need, Maddie. A lesson for all of us.
Well said.
Very well played. All right, sit tight, Maddie. We're going to go on to contestant number 2 right now. Candace, who is contestant number 2?
Mia from Chisago.
Mia, good morning.
Good morning.
How you feeling over there?
Doing good.
Great. You want to play lyrics or lies for some concert tickets?
Yes, please.
Well, conveniently, you were in the right place. Tony?
Mia, here's your first one. Dead babies can't take care of themselves. Dead babies can't take things off the shelf.
Yes.
It is, of course, from the song Dead Babies, a popular wedding song.
I sure hope so. What if that was something Tony just made up for the game? We'd all be a little concerned.
No, could be. Your second one, Maddie?
Mia.
That'd be a good,
Mia,
good vanity plate, wouldn't it? Dead babies.
Jeez.
Oh, gosh. I don't want to follow that vehicle.
Dead babies on board. That's the sticker I want.
You're sick. Here you go. Well, we can't salute you, can't find a flag. If that don't suit you, that's a drag.
Yes.
Yes, from School's Out.
Boom.
He's such a good rhymer, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Your next one, whisk together eggs, parsley and pepper in a shallow dish. Rotate to coat each fillet in the mixture.
No.
true. That is it's a recipe for chicken parmesan from the website Cafe Delights. So not a lyric. Next up, I went to church incognito. When everybody rose, the Reverend Smith recognized me and punched me in the nose.
Yes.
Yes. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Mia, this is for all the marbles. If you get this next one, then you and Maddie will have tied, and we'll have to go to a tiebreaker. So good luck to you.
Wow.
All right.
Here you go. They lock us in the tower whenever we get caught, but we break loose and then vamoose, and now you know the plot.
No.
Correct. That is the theme from the TV cartoon Animaniac.
Wow. Mia, great job. 5 for 5, man. It's rare we have two contestants both run the table. It's an exciting way to kick off the second month of the year. Candace, it's time for a tiebreaker, and I think that means Tony's going to ask you each a question. Maddie, we will ask you to answer first, and then we'll get Mia's answer, and we'll see who has won the tickets. Tony, take it away.
All right, kids. There are more than 2,600 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. How many are dedicated to fictional characters?
Maddie, what do you think?
I'll say 0.
0. Mia?
I'll say 5.
Going with 5. I'm fascinated by this, Tony. I have no idea what we're going to come in at.
The correct answer would be 19.
19. Wow. So I like the way Maddie just committed to none. And sorry, but there's only 19 out of however many you said, 2,600. That's not very many. Mia, you have won tickets to see Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper Sunday, August 25th. Congratulations, Maddie. Wonderful job running the table in regulation. You have tickets to see the Australian Bee Gees with the 70s Magic Sunshine Band. That's this Saturday at the Medina. Thank you both ladies for playing. It's great work.
Thank you.
You got it. Speaking of chicken parm, I watched an episode of The Sopranos yesterday.
Oh, which one?
I was. It was a rough one. I was looking at something online, and I saw a link to an article with Drea De Matteo, the woman who played Adrienne, and she was talking about that she still has the tiger bodysuit that she wore in her final episode on the show.
Nice.
Long-term parking, where she is removed from the cast. And I just read this thing, and I just thought about it, and I was like, I don't know, just put that on for a minute. And I ended up sitting there and I pulled it up on TV and I watched the entire episode. And then I watched the next episode too, because once you start, you have to just keep going.
Get a taste.
And I mean, this is hardly an original thought, but when you haven't watched an episode of The Sopranos in a while, and then you do, it's amazing how much food they're eating on that show.
I know.
Constantly.
When I watched it, which was a couple years ago, I was kind of dieting at the time, and I just broke. I was like, no, I have to. And I ordered like pasta.
Yeah. Every single episode, they are, and at this stage, this is the final. I watched the final 2 episodes of the second to last season, season 5. And so Tony and Carmela have split up, and then they're reconciling over these 2 episodes, and they're sitting at a restaurant and they're talking. And I mean, they're just cutting and slicing and wolfing down. Like, they eat so much food. And I'm picturing, they didn't do all these scenes in one shot. These people must have been throwing up between takes, because they are just forking down food like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, and they just slurp,
a bunch of
too.
Fat asses, too.
Well, there's that,
Gluttonous.
too, yeah. Oh, it's so funny. I mean, and we've talked about this before. It's one of those great shows that the more you watch it, the more everything just comes. It's such a vivid, but it's so funny, and it's just. But I was staring at the TV yesterday, going, "How in the world did they? I mean, so much food, crazy." It's funny because my other, on my short list of greatest shows ever, we've talked about it a little bit on the show. There's a series on Amazon that Zepp and I are huge fans of called Patriot. There's only 2 seasons, 18 total episodes. And the guy that created and was the showrunner and directed most of the episodes we have a mutual friend, so I've gotten to know him. His name's Steve Conrad. He's a Chicago guy. Brilliant dude. And I was talking to him. When I first met him, I was literally like, I have to know everything about Patriot. I'm obsessed with your show. Oh, my God. It was like, to me, it was no different than sitting with McCartney and asking about Sgt. Pepper recording sessions. I was so excited to meet this guy. And he said, well, we were just talking about TV in general. And he said, every show like this, a series like this, you have a show Bible, meaning your rule book. Like David Chase had one for The Sopranos. And it was like there's certain rules. And it's just a way to keep all the different writers in the same headspace about specific characters. There's like you do a character study on everybody in The Sopranos. And this guy always does this. This guy never does that. And then there's overarching rules for any TV series. It's called the Bible. And he said this interestingly. He goes, yeah, one of ours for Patriot was you'll never see anybody ever eat. Huh. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, we were just talking about it. And there was and he said after The Sopranos and all these shows, he goes, we were saying like, well, just for no other reason than it's one less thing to have to think about. Well, no one will ever be sitting at it. You'll never see people with food. And if you watch all 18 episodes, no one's ever, they're in a bar, they're drinking, but you never see anybody eat. And I was like, and if he hadn't said that, I would have never noticed it. But as soon as he said it, I was like, you're right. I've never seen anyone even eat a cracker on that show. It's just funny. And
now I hate it.
And now I'm picturing The Sopranos, and I'm thinking like David Chase. I want to do a show about a mobster, and maybe he's in therapy, but mostly they're going to have a lot of food.
Yeah, that's the set I want to be on.
Man, that show. He and Johnny Sack. When Johnny Sack takes over New York, and all of a sudden they're at each other's throats, but then they make I texted my son, who loves the show. I said, man, I just made the mistake of jumping into a Sopranos episode, and he goes, just stop kidding yourself. Start at episode 1.
Yeah, I can't believe you started that one.
Just go back to the beginning and just let her rip.
That's
and I'm
horrifying.
This weekend, I don't know. I don't have any plans yet. I might have to just. I might be Soprano marathoning it all weekend long.
I'll put on a tank top and make some pasta.
Yeah, that episode you watched is really, really hard to watch.
Brutal.
But it's not the worst one. The worst one is when her dog gets killed, and the dog looks just like Gigi. When
it's so
Christopher sits on him.
A fictional dog dying is so much worse than a human being.
Hey,
Christopher
in the back of the head.
sat on the dog.
Yeah, well, that's what happens.
Maybe the dog really did die. Sometimes.
I don't know. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. The real downside to heroin use is you sit on dogs and they die.
I had to step outside after that episode.
Literally, that you didn't step outside when the woman who owned the dog was killed, but when the dog itself.
She was a rat.
She was. That was.
Wait, a rat owned a dog?
I remember watching that.
Are we talking about a Disney animated series here? No, I have watched. I did watch it all the way through, except the last episode. I never got around to. But here's what I'm going to do. I know. And then everyone was talking about it.
Is that true?
Yes, I never got around to the last episode, and then everyone started talking about it, and I was like, yeah, why bother? I've heard it now. Just like Breaking Bad, I never got around to the last season. But here's what I'm going to do. When the next time I break a bone, which is imminent, I'm going to watch The Sopranos starting with the last episode and work backwards. Watch the entire series backwards. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, man, that's a memento, that sucker.
Yeah.
Just work it back.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
We're talking about vanity plates. A bunch of them here in Minnesota just in the last year that didn't make it. I got to believe that this one, every year, a KQ listener brings it to the DMV, and every year they shoot it down 8675309. Didn't make it again in 2023, but keep trying out there. You're going to sneak it past someone. So if you've got a vanity plate story, we'd love to hear from you this morning. Talk and text line 651-989-ROCK. Also, the snowplow name game. We have a couple of winners from that. And we're right here smack dab in the middle of winter. We're grinding along. If you're not taking a warm weather vacation, you might want to consider a day at the diaper spa. They have one of those now, Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Yes, we want to talk about this diaper spa, but we have a little unfinished business. unfinished business diaper spa. That's kind of funny. No, we're talking about vanity plates on the show today, and man, we've had a bunch of submissions on the KQ Facebook page. A ton of comments. We've had a few phone calls. Truly inappropriate vanity plates. You see them occasionally, and I'm looking at a few that are mind blowing, and I have to just share this one. It's from Pennsylvania. But the plate, I thought it was the mother of a student at North Carolina State University because it says NCST, which I immediately thought of the Wolfpack, North Carolina State. NCST mom. And then I read that it's supposed to, what the woman is saying is, I'm the nicest mom. Or incest mom, if you is exactly. But when you see it, you think that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Hello, Oedipus.
Oops. There's also this one, somebody who apparently was implying Jesus is Lord, Jislord, which might read as Jizz Lord. Just saying.
Oh, my old college nickname.
Yeah. What in the world? Old pedo, PEDO, old someone's nickname.
Old pedo.
People. See, this is why you gotta trust friend. You gotta have somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
Anything weird about this plate? Do you think? I don't know, man. Oh my gosh, BJ mom. Okay, listen, seriously.
Okay.
All right, now I'm getting a little turned on.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a whole genre.
My former rock and roll combo, the Black Crowes, there was a guy from Michigan in the early 90s, and he just had simply Crows, like CROWES on his plate. And at some point, and he would get it renewed when I guess he changed it out, or I don't know. Do you have to renew your actual plate? You just put a sticker on it. But for some reason, he said he got a new one. But he had one. He gave it to me. I still have it, like in a bin somewhere. Every now and then I go see him. Oh, that's that guy from Michigan, the Crow's license plate. But then we put it on. There was someone from a lot of states. You'd see them. But that was the first one I saw. There was always and a guy in Georgia had it. And then we actually turned that into a T-shirt. We just sold a T-shirt that was a Georgia license plate that said Crow's, one of the bigger sellers.
Nice.
Yeah. That was kind of cool. They're not all gross and weird and creepy, but we do have a few callers who wanted to share something with us. Maybe some of these guys will be gross and weird and creepy. Candace, who we got?
Kim from Ramsey.
Good morning, Kim.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. What do you got for us?
Well, back in the 90s, I was in my early 20s, got a convertible, thought it would be kind of funny to get a plate with a Barrett on it, BARE space IT. So I thought, it'd be fun. Went into the DMV, and the lady, I filled out the paperwork. She was like, "You're not going to get that. That's offensive." Oh. And I'm like, "It's my last name," and it truly was my last name, but spelled different.
Right.
And I go, "That's the only choice I'm putting down." And lo and behold, I got the plate, and it was a blast. We had so much fun cruising the lake.
Sure you did.
Friends. We would get mooned. Guys are dropping.
Yeah.
A
lot of honks.
It was hilarious. I had it for years, and I finally got rid of it. I was married later, and it was like time to get rid of it. But when I was younger, it was stolen a couple times. Had to get them replaced. It was pretty fun.
If someone's stealing your license plate, you've hit pay dirt. You know what I mean? There's no stronger indicator that you were onto something than the fact that you have to replace it. That's awesome. Thanks for the call.
Yeah. Yep. No problem.
Man.
Cute.
You talk about plates that don't work, that people didn't. I don't know how this one got passed in Virginia, but here it is on a Mirage. Country won, except they spelled country with a U instead of an OU.
No, they didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
4, the number 4, NIKK, the number 8. Fornicate. That got through in Georgia. Oh, man.
My friend's hiding in
they
Glen.
don't know what that means in Georgia.
They have a van, and their license plate says Halen.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's funny.
That works. That's good. Takes an extra split second. It's always worth it. Do we have another caller, Candace?
Eric from Coon Rapids.
Eric, what do you got, brother?
Good morning.
What's happening?
Hey, Eric from Assurance Manufacturing, Coon Rapids, welding away. I got a vanity plate for you.
Let's have it.
So I was investigating on buying a Toyota Tacoma, and I didn't know that the background on them, their nickname is Taco. So I got a vanity plate that says Crunchy. And I just wondered spelled with a K-R-U-N-C-H-Y.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering if there's a soft taco out there.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Could be. We'll keep you posted. I like it.
Yeah, let me know.
Fair enough.
Give him a call.
All right. Well, good luck with the welding and appreciate that phone call, brother.
All right. Thank you.
You got it.
Ciao.
Crunchy.
I like it. Yeah, boy. There's this one. These are all true license plates. Mrs. Hart, MRSHART. So of course it's Mr. Shart if you prefer.
Old Mr. Shart.
Oh man, these are special. Oh, good Lord. All right, let's.
See, those are fun. I like when they're fun and you have to think about them. And if it's just like your nickname, like I think that's so lame. There used to be someone that worked here that had his nickname on his license plate.
Really?
And I was just like, oh.
What was it?
Jizz man.
Here's a good one. This is the license plate that is on an Audi, and it's simply Innie. Innie and Audi. That's good. INNY. That's on the. Trish put that on the Facebook.
Twice. The first time you giggle, the second time.
Brian said outside of Green Bay he saw one PMS 247.
I'm going to get a little more room on the road.
That's great. Wow. Had a Dodge Little Red Express pickup. Came from the factory with exhaust stacks, so my plate read stacked. Okay, well that makes sense.
All right.
Sure.
Wrong with that. Sure.
Wow, man. Okay, no, I almost violated some FCC. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind.
be
Let's move
careful.
on.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I got excited.
Do it.
I got carried away. Can we talk about the diaper spa? Can we finally get to this?
Yes.
In New Hampshire. In a town called Atkinson, New Hampshire, there is a new business you can attend. It's a place called the Diaper Spa. It is I'm reading here. It is a nursery-like business for adults who role play as children and, yes, wear diapers.
Yeah. I mean, it's psychologically what's going on there? Arrested development? Are we talking about someone that just... that one I don't. So you want to you want to crap in a diaper.
There's a website that says that the diaper spa is open to, quote, again, all diaper-wearing individuals who seek acceptance, respite, and care.
All right. Different strokes for different folks. Whatever gets you through the day. You're not harming anyone. I tell you what, it's like the crying closets at college. They were doing that here at some universities for a while. They would put a little closet. Little handmade closet there in the student union, and during finals, the kids could go in there, close the door, and just cry to themselves. And I just
really?
The crying closet.
Oh, come on! You just give me a couple shots of hooch in a high school yearbook if I want to cry.
What the pool hall and pitchers of beer for, man.
Oh yeah. By the way, I am feeling like DYPERMN Diaper Man should be my new license plate. No, I don't know. It came like that. I don't know what that means. I'm not hanging out at a diaper spa in New Hampshire. Why do you ask? Boy, I tell you what, check this out. You can go to the page. There's a space decorated with all the comforts of a nursery, complete with toys, folded diapers, and adult-sized cribs.
Oh God.
This sounds like this is like a skit on SNL or something.
Be helpless.
Hates it.
Oh wow.
You don't want to go in there and suck your thumb and swaddle and be swaddled? No, just
not my thing. Hey, I don't judge though.
The woman who opened this is a board-certified integrative medicine physician and sexologist. And here's a quote. I found a community of people who had varied needs to wear diapers, whether they were physical or emotional. You have people who are dealing with physical maladies, vets, combats, but people who need this. That's one thing. But then she also found so many people who emotionally, they just needed to be able to, in her words, regress into a comfort zone.
Where's the comfort?
I don't know. I really know. That I can only imagine.
Football was for on Sundays.
Think about the size of the ointment tubes you would need, Tony.
Please.
There's that word again, Tony. Don't say ointment around Tony.
Right.
Do you have extra ointment?
Oh.
We should call them on the air. Hey, is this a diaper spa? Can we talk about ointments? What's the protocol? What's the ointment protocol at your adult diaper store?
What are our choices?
Whew, man. Okay, I don't want to make fun of people who don't have a choice, physically need to wear diapers. But you know what? I'm sorry. If your idea of a good time is climbing into a diaper just so you can lay in a man-sized crib and suck your thumb, I might poke a little fun at that.
A text line just sent one. It said, would you go to a diaper spa? Depends. Not bad.
Yeah. There is nothing wrong with that text. Very well done.
I like it.
Hey, you can catch up with the podcast of this very show. Steve Gorman and the KQ Morning Show podcast is available anywhere you get podcasts, and you can listen anytime you want. This very podcast is sponsored by our very dear friends
at Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies.
That's exactly right, Candace. Whoo,
I
go
just love 'em.
Devani's. We just all love them. Don't kid yourself.
I know a lot of people. Use their pets to get them through the day, right?
Sure.
I mean, a lot of people lean emotionally into their pets.
100%.
They're good for that.
Yeah.
A little frustrated myself, looking for a new emotional support pet, but I've not been able to find a dart frog anywhere.
I'm sorry?
They're illegal. Dart frogs. There's some lady.
Okay.
You hear about this all the time.
I know a
People
guy.
smuggling animals. You know a guy that can get me a dart frog because they just busted a lady trying to smuggle in a whole bunch of dart frogs. Now I've got to go. I don't even know if I'm getting that right. I don't have the story in front of me, but I think it's a dart frog. Some weird, creepy little frog will be our next great invasive species here in good old Minnesota. We'll get to that story here at 9 o'clock. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Thursday, February the 1st. Listen to Stevie Nicks, Rhiannon, little witchy poo Stevie Nicks. She's got her little She's got her little spells and her potions and her ointments and her curses and her hexes. She's got a little boil and trouble, doil and double. You know, she's a witch. That's what she is. She's the kind of gal who, would get picked up at the airport for trying to smuggle in a bunch of poisonous frogs somewhere. Actually, I don't know if that's true.
That's the part I forgot. They're not dart frogs. They're poisonous dart frogs.
Dart frogs. That's right.
A lot more serious and cooler and disturbing.
I just like to put Stevie Nicks into as many stories as possible, so this one just kind of fits because she's got all sorts of witch's brew cooking up at all times. No, but this is an actual story, not involving Stevie Nicks of Fleetwood Mac. This is a Brazilian woman. This actually happened down in South America. Thankfully, not in our backyard. Arrested at the airport in Bogota, Colombia, she was attempting to smuggle 130 poisonous dart frogs out of the country. She had these dart frogs, still living, in film canisters in her luggage. 130 poisonous frogs.
Must have been comfortable for the frogs.
Yeah, these are endangered tiny frogs. They're native to Central and South American rainforests, and they're known as the jewels of the rainforest. They're incredibly colorful. Red and black, yellow and green, orange and silver. They look beautiful. The bright colors serve to warn predators of their toxic skin. If you eat one of these frogs, not you, but if another animal does, that animal will deal with a lot of swelling, muscle paralysis, and usually or oftentimes death. They are called poison dart frogs because there are indigenous people in the rainforest in western Colombia that use the poison to coat the tips of blow darts that they still use for hunting.
Oh, yeah, I saw Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, man. Hey, why can't you smuggle in the frogs that get us super stoned, the acid frogs that secrete that?
Oh, that's right, the frogs you lick.
Yeah, some liquors. Bring in the liquors, not the poison dart frogs. We don't want those.
Maybe if you're a TSA agent in Colombia, you think you've seen a lot of things, but it's got to be weird when you're like, there's something, I don't know, the x-ray's showing something weird. That looks like, what is that, a film canister? And you open it up and a bunch of frogs come popping out. That's just got to be a scene, man. Can you imagine just picture yourself at MSP, you're in line at TSA, and at the next machine over, you hear a big ado, a big hubbub, and you look over, and there's 130 multicolored rainbow frogs hopping all over the place. That would kind of freak me out.
Yeah, that would.
Lie.
Yeah, there was one in Minnesota years ago. A lady had brought in, the old curlers in mom's hair, and they had their own box, those curler boxes.
Yeah.
And she brought her curler box along, and in the curling tubes were a bunch of finches, those little songbirds.
Really?
That she was smuggling in, like 100 of them. And they had them tied up in twine and stuffed in there. I'm like, well, you bastards.
Really?
Yeah, right. And then we had the turtles come in one year. Some guy brought in a bunch of turtles, and he had sewed their feet and head hole shut.
Oh, gosh.
So they couldn't poke. Yeah, I was like, have you heard of tape? Are you aware of this thing called tape that we use? Could have used some Band-Aids. But yeah, people are always smuggling things in here.
Totally
I guess
insane.
must be a market for it, I guess, the old poisonous dart frog.
We were talking earlier about words that are a little odd. Spoon River Anthology. Oh, God.
Oh, it finally popped in your head.
That's like a sneeze I've been waiting 3 hours
Take
for.
me back, remind me.
Okay, sorry.
that's
I know. Oh, my. Literally, I just... Oh, the
dead
relief I
monologues.
feel. I mentioned earlier in the show that I was part of a play, like my school, we put on a play, or it was a series of monologues, and it was it's a pretty famous piece of work, and it's called Spoon River Anthology. It's a bunch of monologues written by, the whole point is to sort of it's like small town America, turn of the century, of a century ago. It's just a bunch of characters, and everybody, I was a guy who... I had a character named Jack. They would have lynched me had I not been secretly hurried away to the jail in Peoria. That was my opening line. Oh my God!
Wow!
And then
chills.
yeah. I mean, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the diversion, everybody. But this is such a relief to remember what the hell I was trying to say earlier.
Isn't that weird? How the search engine in your head is just spinning, and then finally pop.
Yeah.
And then from there, I'm going to go straight to The Tempest, a little Shakespeare where I played Caliban, and I had the monologue, all the infections that the sun sucks up, from bogs, fens, and flats, on Prospero fall, and make him by inch meal a disease. Literally, what's wrong with me? Why do I remember
yeast
that?
infections?
Did not. Oh, that's where this all started. I hate the word yeast.
Yeah.
I don't like the word yeast. I'd rather quote Shakespeare that I learned in 1981 than talk about yeast infections.
Oh, Shakespeare.
Oh, man. Oh, Billy Shakes. God, that dude's work held up. You got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, it's
he had all the best words because he didn't use words like ointment or squelch or secrete or defecate. God. All the gross words that make us cringe like crazy. It's just a great list, and I'm happy to go back into it if we need to. If not, we can say that we've coagulated the list and it's time to move on.
What was that thing Ross had in Friends? The Moist Maker?
Yes, the sandwich, the turkey sandwich.
It was called the Moist Maker?
It was the Moist Maker.
Oh, my God. We never got to the word crevice, which I don't have a problem with crevice.
Oh,
crevasse.
You don't want to come across a chasm, and you definitely don't want to come across a fissure, but a fissure, but a crevice is fine.
Oh, the fissures. There was something, we had years ago. It was a side effect of a drug you would take. You get all these crazy side effects, like gambling was a side effect to this one, a particular drug, which had us all scratching our heads. But anal fissures.
It's always
a side
anal.
effect, and I thought
Anus.
I've got to
Anus.
Is it anus fissures?
I just don't want to say it.
I just thought, how bad does what you have to be before you take a medication that might cause an anal fissure?
There was that movie about the chess tournament where you couldn't sit down. It was called Searching for Bobby Fischer. Sorry, it's a stretch. I know.
Oh, snap. No. Gary on the Facebook page, we asked what are your weirdest, grossest words you don't like? And he said, when Steve Gorman says visceral.
Visceral. I was going to say, I say visceral?
Says this squirrel.
That would bother me, too.
I guess I have heard you say it. I just have never known what it meant.
Visceral. What
does it mean?
It's pronounced visceral.
What does it mean?
It means anal fissure.
I think you're having a visceral reaction to his word visceral, actually.
Come on, man.
Right
visceral. It's a great word.
Gary
visceral.
don't like it.
Gary don't like it.
Okay. Gary, the one with the duck.
Gary don't like it. Like one bit. Smegma. There's another really pretty one.
Oh, that's the worst. Smegma. That's the worst.
Pus.
Visceral, relating to deep inward feelings rather than the intellect. I have a visceral hatred of pus. See?
How about creamy?
I think creamy's
I like
nice.
that one. Yeah, that's nice.
I immediately go straight to blue cheese dressing, and I'll tell you why. Family restaurant, I was the salad guy. I was responsible for making all the salad dressings by hand, and there was an elder gentleman who always loved to order salads, and my brother was a waiter. I was in the kitchen, and he would come in every day, and he goes, "Guess who just ordered a salad with that special creamy blue cheese dressing?" He always made a point to say, it was just said blue cheese dressing on the menu, and he'd go, "And I'll have the creamy blue cheese dressing," and we were all freaked out and like creeped out by this guy. Just a wonderful older guy who liked to think of it as being creamy, and we made fun of him because we're terrible people.
Creamy I like, but that makes me think of the word smear, which I don't like.
Ooh, smear. Yeah.
Smear of curd.
I think I told you guys the story of my brother, Tom, had one of his closest friends worked for the Hasbro toy company, and he would, when they were putting together like the molds to make millions of Jeeps and cool toys for boys and tanks and plastic things, they would carve their initials into a mold, or they would put a word in there, and you would never see it. Like if you picture like a G.I. Joe Jeep or a vehicle for G.I. Joe, if you broke it apart, you would get like under the hood, and then you might see one of these guys' initials. But they would put it in a place where you had to be searching for it if you had to know it was there. But my brother Tom's buddy, literally on a line of G.I. Joe vehicles that went out for years and probably in the hundreds of thousands, he put into the mold on the interior, where you'd never see unless you destroyed your toy, the word smegma.
Oh, nice.
That's a true story. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the 70s. Everybody was having fun.
Nice surprise.
Everyone was having fun. You're right.
Everybody's having a good time. Oh, this is something I was curious about, just real quick. A woman posted something on social media where she took advantage of Costco, the store Costco. They've got a very, very generous return policy. So much so that she bought a couch at Costco, and after 2 years of using and sitting on that couch, returned it. She said it fit into whatever their policy was. They allowed her to do it, and she said she walked right into Costco and said, "Hey, I just don't like this couch anymore," and they gave her money back.
What the hell?
Yeah, they'll pretty much return anything.
They said, and the whole point is with the exception of electronics, jewelry, alcohol, tires, and batteries, pretty much anything else you can return way after the fact.
I'd love to bring back my old bald set of tires. Yeah, I'm not into these anymore. They're just, I don't.
They used to the car used to handle so much better, and now it doesn't.
Yeah, these don't work.
So
that just takes some gall, doesn't it?
See, that's the thing. 2 years of using a couch, and then you're like, well, I looked it up, and they say they'll take it back, and they did. I get the idea of doing it. I don't get why you would want to share that on social media. You're just opening yourself up because people like us are going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a weird one.
She's getting slammed on social media, too, that, this is why things cost more. But, I don't know about all that. I just think it takes some, like I said, gall to... You've got a family. You've got small kids, And I guess, is Costco still going to make money?
Sure.
As the manufacturer of the couch. They're
if
not
anything.
Going under or anything like that. It's just, imagine if that was... I saw a lady... this would have been back in the first week of November. I'm at Target, and I'm returning one item. And I come in there, and there's one person working in the return lane there. Okay, sounds good. There is a lady with a Target cart full of Halloween decorations. They all still have the tag on them. And it's like November 8th. Mm-hmm. So she went out and bought a bunch of Halloween decorations, hung them up, tucked the tags away, as you do, but she displayed them clearly, and then in November just brought them all back. I know people that do this.
Yeah.
Friends of mine. I don't, and I give them grief about it, but that just, you're gaming the system. I guess it's like a life hack, right? But
I guess it's a little weird one. If anything, it speaks to how cool Costco is. Actually, it makes them look pretty good. They're like, yeah, you know what? We'll bring it back. We're cool. We'll give you credit for it.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's pretty good in my mind. And then not to mention the fact that next time you need 186 AA batteries, just right where to go.
Yeah. That's my thing with Costco. Back in the family days, it would have been better, but I don't need 12 loaves of bread. I just want a loaf of bread, I don't need 200 pods K-cups, I just want like 20 because I want to go back to Costco. But it's, hey man, Like I said, sweatpants. You remember the pandemic when that's all we wore was sweatpants? It's pretty much all I'm wearing anymore anyway. But every time I walked in there, there'd be 8,000 new pair of sweatpants for $1 a piece. So I now have, I kid you not, probably over 20 pair of just sweatpants. A lifetime supply.
I love a good return policy, though. I recently bought some underpants at Target.
Wait, you mean panties?
Pants.
No, I won't say that.
Another one of our cringe words from earlier today. The password is panties.
It's especially cringy when a guy says it for some reason.
It's very cringy. Yes.
Underpants.
Drawers.
And I had to return them because they were too tight.
So they weren't droopy drawers. They were tight panties.
They were too tight. I couldn't breathe.
Were they too tight when you bought them?
No, I ordered them, and I had to return them, and they said, you can keep them, just donate them or give them away or whatever if you want. And they still refunded me. Isn't that Target? Isn't that cool?
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Just goes to show that, honestly, they cost 9 cents to make. The company, seriously, don't even waste a stamp. We don't care.
They're dumping them in the ocean.
I'm wearing them right now.
Candace is wearing panties
I just stretched them out a little bit, you know.
Yeah, well, girl.
I'm not going to donate them.
Make it work, sister. Make it work. Whatever it takes. Just don't say the word panties.
All right. Well, I feel like this morning's been somewhat educational. We've learned a few things. We've talked about some words here. We've got into the whole license plate thing. I think we would all have been a lot more interested in school if they had just had a class that focused on sports and music history. See what I'm doing there?
Nice.
That's what Steve has for us at 9:30, the fun stuff. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Behind Blue Eyes, Pete Townsend's Sad Clown Phase. No, that's not nice. I love Pete Townsend, and I love that song. But, man, every now and again, you're just like, Pete, can you just can we stutter through my generation again? Can we just have some fun? Come on. I mean, I've heard that song a billion times, and I was just listening to it going, this song just really sad. It just does me in. It's so heavy.
Can you see the real me, doctor?
See?
Doctor!
There you are. You're always about that doctor song.
I love that song.
Behind Blue Eyes was taken from the Lifehouse, the project he had to scrap. He had a whole double album, follow-up to Tommy, like another big, heavy-duty story, rock opera thing called Lifehouse, and that was taken from what then ended up just being Who's Next. I think it's their greatest album.
Oh, so good.
But it's not a connected story that has a solid through line that you can find out. But it was all taken from something that he was trying to do, and it just got way too deep, way too thick. The rest of the band at some point was like, can we just play some rock music, Pete? Can we just stop thinking so much and just plug in and play and do the windmills? And then that's what turned into Who's Next. So, I'm just I don't know if that's exactly what they said, but it was something to that effect.
I mean, was that Roger or Keith? Or
that was all of them. It was the three of them. When Roger,
I meant that you were actually imitating.
When Roger, Keith, and John spoke as one, it came out like this, didn't it? No, we got to get back and do something like when it was fun again. With some amphetamines and whatnot. Maybe. Again, this is all speculation on my part. I was not there. I was never been in a private band meeting of The Who. I saw The Who. This is a true story. The day after John Entwistle died in Los Angeles, he died in Vegas. They immediately absconded to Los Angeles. And I stopped by a hotel there to visit a buddy who was staying there, and sitting around poolside were all the members of the Who entourage. And I'm watching them going, John Entwistle just died yesterday. And I mean, I don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They're just they have to be grieving somewhere. They just happen to be doing it poolside at the Sunset Marquee. And I was like, wow, and there they are. Yeah. Like, okay, fair enough. But remember the Beatles, that band from Liverpool?
Remember the Beatles?
I'm going to Google them. How do you spell it? E-E-T-L-E-S?
No, that's the funny thing. It's an E-A. Yeah, like the beat. Remember, like a play on words? They were touring the United States in 1965, the year of my birth. And somebody printed recently their 3-page rider and then a 1-page contract for their tour stop in Portland, Oregon. And as you might not be surprised to hear, the Beatles did not have many demands. If you had the Beatles come play your town in the mid-'60s, they asked for a high-fidelity sound system with an adequate number of speakers. and a platform for Ringo Starr and his drums, meaning a drum riser. They literally, well, if you got a stereo backstage and you got a platform for the drums on stage, we can put on a show. They also, of course, wanted what they called adequate police protection. This is it. The backstage dressing room accommodations, 4 cots.
Oh, man.
If you want to know what their lifestyle was like, how hurried and harried their everyday's existence was, they wanted 4 cots in the dressing room.
I mean, isn't that just like rock stars? Oh, I want my own cot. Jeez.
Yes. This is Boy Scout level cot. You know the cot was just like rickety every time.
Oh, you know it.
Mirrors, an ice cooler, a portable TV set, and clean towels. That was it. I mean, that's literally like, come on, that's all we need. Yeah, that's why the Beatles were great, because they did not need special guacamole made for them specifically. They were just like, just get some clean towels and, I don't know, maybe a cot so I can take a quick break. Yeah.
I noticed during Get Back, that big Peter Jackson documentary, that they were fond of toast and mimosas.
Yeah.
Bring it in. I think that might have been, I don't know, might have been something else they were drinking. And then occasionally they just bring in a plate of toast. I'm like,
listen,
wow.
man, you put a loaf of white bread next to a toaster in England and you're everyone's favorite guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got toast. We can have toast again. I like is toast and jam, don't I? Yeah, no, the toast is still they rave about the toast over in the UK.
Okay, all right.
It's simple. It's just bread plus heat, isn't it? It's great.
You know what's an ingredient in a lot of bread?
What's that, mate?
Yeast
Don't say it.
in a damp environment. Yeast thrives
man.
in a damp
I like an
environment.
especially yeasty tasting bread.
Yeast.
We all have words that we don't ever need to hear again, and I made the mistake of admitting that yeast was mine.
Yeast.
I get the you know what? That word gives me the yeasties.
Yeah.
Speaking of yeast, a naked woman wielding a vegetable peeler threatened convenience store workers
Yeast.
in St. Petersburg, Florida. Again, a new. This is I'm not making this up, but I'm sorry. You start saying yeast, and I start remembering stories like this. A woman walked into a racetrack gas station. That's a brand name, not an actual racetrack, but it's like a holiday down south racetrack. She walked in Sunday night, holding a vegetable peeler, buck naked, as the song would say. And threatened all the employees. They called the police. Sheriff's deputies arrived. She started screaming at them about having been trespassed upon in that business the prior day. They said, no, this is not really how this goes. You're going to be in trouble. She broke a display of Red Bull energy drinks. Something tells me she'd had a few of those already.
Yeah, something.
When the officers went in to cuff her, she laid down and began to approximate or simulate with a vegetable peeler sexual acts upon herself.
No, that's uncomfortable.
She was charged with aggravated assault, disorderly intoxication, trespass, criminal mischief, and exposure of sexual organs.
I wonder if she's single.
She later then said, well, I did have 6 shots of liquor before I entered the store.
No.
Found out she does have a rap sheet, battery, prostitution, criminal mischief, and narcotics possession.
Yeah, we've all had 6 shots. Not one of us grabbed I'm guessing, a vegetable peeler, stripped down. And
let me tell you something. The drunker I am, the farther I stay away from kitchen implements.
I hate
especially a vegetable
peelers.
You do?
Yeah, I can't get the hang of it.
I will never use one.
Man, I'm just it brings to mind like just an awful scenario where you're like, that's not a carrot.
That's my finger.
You know,
Exactly.
Was that in your dating profile? Because that could be a deal breaker for a lot of guys.
Listen. Drunk, naked, and holding a vegetable peeler is no way to go through life. I made a nice cabbage soup last week, and I peeled 4 carrots like a champ just in order to get them in there, and I didn't have any problem. No, I didn't cut myself. I didn't hurt myself.
Steve Gorman, I'm so cool.
Yeah, I am so cool because I don't freak out over an inanimate object that's there to help me get my carrots in shape. What's the problem with the vegetable peeler?
I'm scared I'm going to hurt myself.
Oh, okay.
How do you do with like forks and steak knives and stuff?
Well, you don't really need to peel anything. I mean.
Oh, hold on. I just realized in the break room, those forks that have corks on the end, those are yours, aren't they?
Yeah.
Hey, don't talk about my cork forks.
Cork.
not mother. What is that? What's the Steve Martin movie where he's got the cork over the ends of his fork?
He does it to his eye.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Yeah,
right.
where he's Ruprecht,
the monkey boy.
Oh man, that's good stuff. That's very good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, let's look back. I just said sports and history music lesson. What I meant to say was sports and music history lesson. On this day in 2004, billions of people saw Janet Jackson's nipple. That's right. Super Bowl, what year would that have been? 38. Halftime show, Justin Timberlake ripped Janet Jackson's shirt open to expose one bare breast, and you would have thought they had laid down and copulated on TV the way the reaction was the next day.
Right. I thought it was kind of fun. I thought it would be laughed about the next day, but she wasn't. It wasn't a bare naked breast. I remember it was bejeweled. There
was something else happening there. That's for sure.
Right,
I didn't see it. I was out of the country. I was watching the game, but I fell dead asleep right as the halftime show was starting. I made it to the first half, one of the worst halves of football I'd ever seen. All the points in that game came in the fourth quarter, so everyone remembers what a thrilling finish it was. But most of that game was absolutely deadening and with how boring it was. But there was also another thing going on in that game. There was a British fan at the game named Mark Roberts, and he streaked onto the field. Tony Lee, Streaker Deluxe. He was streaking. He got access to the field disguised as a referee.
That's great.
He somehow eluded security, dressed as a ref. Right as the second half was beginning, he stripped down actually to a thong. He was not fully nude. He was wearing a thong, and he made it across the field. He was removed by security. CBS cut away. They did not show him on camera, but Greg Gumbel mentioned it and said, something tells me the second half will feature raw, naked football. That's what Greg Gumbel said on the telecast. And then, of course, but there was also another big controversy. So you had the streaker, you had Janet Jackson's breast being exposed. There were also, for the first time, a series of ads about erectile dysfunction played during the Super Bowl, and people were up in arms about that. So 2004 was a heady mix of all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
What a transition, look at, and it's propelled us forward into these glorious times we live in today.
Yeah. If you don't want to have to sell these pills, then show more of Janet Jackson nude, I guess was the lesson. I'm not sure.
Just try to watch a sporting event, I dare you, without an erectile dysfunction commercial these
God,
days.
no. What, are you kidding?
Low T. Get some low T.
I mean, just I guarantee you, for every second they show Taylor Swift during a game, you have to add another ED commercial, because all the men who are so upset about her, the reason they're upset is because they don't have enough little blue pills in their life.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.